hop on and share with our leaders. There's so many emerging leaders and up and coming leaders in our organization. You guys have an amazing leader in Arena. I look up to her and value her opinion and friendship a lot. So you guys have a wonderful ambassador leader in her. But I'll share a little bit about my story. If you haven't heard it before, I have the typical classic, I went to school, got a good job, right? Got in corporate America and was miserable story. I'm that person. And how many of you all have maybe even on your chicken list, people that you're like, I want to approach this person, but they look like their life looks pretty good already, so I'm not going to, right? And I know I used to be that person, and I have those people on my list even still today. And so, I grew up thinking I was going to be one of those hotel executives running a hotel all across the world for the rest of my life. And I started working after school. I got a couple degrees, mounted up a whole lot of debt, and really realized that I was miserable. Not only was I miserable in my job, but I was broke. I was living check to check. I had a bunch of student loan debt. I had medical debt. I had credit card debt. I had a mortgage in pre-foreclosure. I had, you name it, I had it. Discharges, bad credit. Like, it was just like, the spiral happens. And like once you start once you're in that cycle, when you're living check to check, it's very easy to fall back on almost everything, right? And so if you're not paying your bills, the bad credits to come. You need more credit, you need more money, you don't have credit to get it. And so I was looking for a life vest to get out of that cycle. So when It Works found me, I was looking at the product. I had a pudge in my stomach. I had like a fibroid surgery. I don't know how many of you are familiar with fibroids, but they're nasty. Little tumors that they had to take out of my uterus, and they cut me. And so that was kind of like it was kind of like a C-section cut. And when I was healing, I was like, okay, my stomach's not quite as flat as it used to be in that area, right? So I was looking for a solution for my midsection, and I was online and saw this crazy wrap thing being administered at a med spa, and I went for it. I tried the product, it worked, and I fell in love. And at that point, I didn't even know there was a business opportunity. I wasn't one of these people that saw It Works on social media, that knew anybody that was selling it. I had never heard of it, and I hadn't seen it on social media. But when I started doing the research on the product, because the results were so amazing, I saw that there was an opportunity, and I was like, well, let me tell you something. These results, hands down, are some of the best results I've ever seen on a product like this. Like, it was just like uncanny. I was sending pictures to my girlfriends, and they were like, well, give me the information on how to get it. So that's how my light bulb kind of went off. And that's when I decided, use what's left on this credit card to start this business, get my startup kit. And that's what I did. So I started this business at the time with, my sponsor was the number 4 earner in the company at the time that I started. She was making some crazy money. And I just remember talking to her thinking, this lady is nuts. Like, nobody is making those types of coins selling wraps. Like, if I can make an extra $1,000 a month, I'll be happy. But nobody's making millions selling wraps. Like, she just sounds crazy right now. So but I trusted her. So she said, have your party immediately. I'm going to send you some wraps, because at the time that I started, there was a wrap shortage. So she sent me a couple boxes of wraps. I had my first wrap party. I got my first 4 customers, and I got 4 distributors at my first wrap party. And that's what kind of kicked it off. So I was super excited, super passionate about the business at first. I really saw it as something that was going to be life-changing. I just didn't know how life-changing. For me at the time, life-changing was an extra few $1,000s a month, even an extra $1,000 a month, because I was swimming in debt. And so during that time, I made a run, right? And it was kind of like Ignorance on Fire. I hadn't heard of it. It wasn't all over the place. I didn't see it on social media. And everybody that I came across, I wanted to introduce to the business. And so that's how I actually ran into Ronnie. I was driving past her shop on North Capitol Street. I had to drive past it every day to get to work. And I remember saying, oh, that's a little brow studio. You know, my marketing mind was saying, what would be a cute idea to be able to do brows, hair, and wraps, like get people's stomach tight. So I didn't know her, but I made an appointment to get my eyebrows done so I could have the opportunity to talk to her, right? And that is how I met Ronnie. She didn't want to give me the time or day after she did my brows. She was busy, typical Ronnie, right? But she said, you know, if those little things work, you know, I'll try it, but I can't do it today. And so I met her the next day, which was a Sunday, at a pizza place, H&M Pizza, on H Street. Mm-hmm. And we met. She was eating pizza. She brought her baby in there and Dario, and she wanted to prove me wrong. Like, this thing's not going to work, but I'm going to like appease this girl. And I went in the bathroom and wrapped her, and we ate pizza. Crazy. Sat there and ate some pizza and talked about this. Made absolutely no sense. But 45 minutes later, she had some bomb results, and she just put it up on Instagram and Facebook, and her notifications just kept going ping, 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 ping. And that's when she said, sign me up. Right. And so Ronnie was my first huge runner, you know, in the business. And that's really like the beginning of my story. I will tell you that 3 months into the business, I did have this epiphany. How many of you all have like started talking to yourself before, right? And sometimes the conversation wasn't a good conversation with yourself. Sometimes the conversation goes like this: girl, you're crazy. That rap stuff's not going to work. It's wasting your time, right? Like, you're not going to make any money doing that. These people don't want it, right? Like, when the activity kind of slows down, AKA when you kind of slow down, you start getting into your head. And 70% of the conversations that we have are with ourselves, right? And so if you're having a bad conversation with yourself, that might not go so well. And so 3 months into the business, I kind of stepped back. I didn't quit. I just wasn't doing it as much. I remember one of my girlfriends, it was around this time, then like Christmas time, she wanted to do an open house, and she wanted me to come exhibit my rap stuff. And I remember at the time, like, I turned it down. I was like, oh girl, no. You know, I didn't want to do it. I was getting ready to put it up. And it wasn't until January of 2013 that I had to come to Jesus I was having a conversation with Ronnie. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about something else, and she had just got home from conference, and Raina was running, and Kim Scott was running, and Marvette was running. Everybody was just kind of like blowing the business away. And she was like, girl, what are you doing? You brought me in this business. You need to get on. Like, this is real. Like, I just went to conference. People are really making money. And something just clicked, guys. You know, I remember having a conversation with my boyfriend. He was my boyfriend at the time, now my husband. And he lived in New York City. So we were commuting every week when we dated. And I remember getting ready to get on the train to go back to DC. And I said, man, I just wish that I had an opportunity that I didn't have to leave, you know, like where I could just work from home. This is what I was saying, guys. Where I could work from home and didn't have to go back whenever because I had to get to a job. It was right there in my hand already. And so light bulb went off. I decided to go for it in January in 2013. And I went literally from Ruby to Presidential Diamond in 4 months because I decided this is what you need to do, and you can do it, and you better get your butt up and do some work. And so that's just a little bit about, you know, my story, how I started, little ups and downs in the beginning. And it's been a ride ever since. 5.5 years later, we're still here, right? It's crazy.
So it's funny that you talk about you rapping Ronnie in the pizza parlor, and then she posted on social media, because that photo of her is how we got started. So my husband saw her results. He was like, wow, you know, I know Ronnie just had a baby. she just posted this picture of her stomach on Facebook. I want to get that. So that kind of drew us into joining the business, just from your, the results from the rap. So you talked about, how you came back after being Ruby, and then you just took off and went to Presidential Diamond just like that. So that's amazing. Now, I have some questions that I want to ask you. Now, I know you're a brand new mom. I wanted to say this for the end, but you're a brand new mom, and you're getting back into the swing of things of running your business. And you jumped right back in there like nothing. Like, as soon as you came back from the hospital, maybe a day or two later, I remember you doing this live or something. We have a lot of new moms. We have single moms, single dads, and they're trying to balance the business and the kids and work, because some people still have 9 to 5. Like, how should people like balance this? I mean, like I said, you came in, you're a new mom, so you're new at this, but I still see you like running your business. You're doing your lives. You're still getting customers. You're still getting distributors. What advice can you give to those who are on, that need those tips?
Yeah. So my baby is 4 weeks old. So for the mommies that are on, I'm sure you remember that time. It is super busy. It is, 2 to 3 hour feedings. I feel like he's been on my boob all day, actually. And it is tough, right? Because you have to coordinate everything else around it, whether that's work, whether that's working your business, whatever. And it's interesting because I actually did a video yesterday. I did a live yesterday, and I was talking about planning in 2018. But the first part of that, I was talking about in network marketing we had was called this lost day, right? And this lost day is the day that we might not have any production. It's the day that we wake up and we're like, I don't feel like it. Right, because you can't have a lost day at work. You can miss a day of network marketing, but you're not going to miss work. You're going to be at work. You might come home and be like, I'm tired. I don't feel like it. The kids, this, your husband, whatever. And so in effort to not have a lost day, I really have to focus. And this was even before the baby because I lightweight have ADHD.
Me too.
But power hours are really key for me. And I really had to do a self-assessment and ask myself, what has allowed me to be more effective and efficient when working my business, right? And for me, being effective means, am I enrolling customers? Am I enrolling distributors? Because if you're not enrolling those two things, those are the big two things that we do in this business. That's our bread and butter. And if you're not enrolling customers, or you're not enrolling distributors, you're not growing your business. And so for me, the things that I have assessed that allow me to grow my business best are really getting in front of my audience, building a new audience and getting in front of them with new content. The best way to do that more efficiently isn't to put up 50 million posts every day, but it's actually to go live and do videos, right? Video marketing is 8,000 times more effective than doing just a static post and throwing up a post, right? And how many times have you done a post and you're like, okay, 2 people have liked this post. Nobody's liked it. Nobody's seen it, right? Like my algorithm sucks. Nobody's coming to my page. They didn't see my post. It's happening more often and often. So I really had to take some stock into what was happening on my page, my pages, my social media platforms. And when I do X, and X could be a Facebook Live, how many leads are coming through? Well, consistently, when I did X, a Facebook Live, I would have an X number of leads in my inbox. And how many of you all want to have people coming to you more so than you having to message 50 million people every day? I know I do. I know I want people in my inbox. And so I said to myself, now I don't have as much time. I have to do what's going to allow me to be more effective. And that's videos for the most part, helping my algorithm increase and doing posts that allow people to be involved and engaged. And whenever I'm posting on social media, I always ask myself the question first, how does this impact somebody? Does it impact somebody? So it's not just a post that's about me or my products, but I always want to make sure that I'm offering value and that I'm sharing benefits of the product, not just features. We're not just feature dumping. And I'm leaving the post, like when I write a post or I do a video, I'm helping somebody, like I'm leaving somebody better. And so those are the things that I ask myself. How am I impacting somebody that's going to be reading this? So for me, it's been Facebook Lives. I literally did maybe a couple lives in the past week. And I can tell you that the leads that have come to my inbox, I've enrolled 3 distributors in the past week, and they were all new people. Like, I have not been talking to them, working on the leads consistently for 6 to 7 months, because honestly, the whole month of November was like, it was a loss for me, having the baby in the beginning of November. I took a little mini maternity leave. So if it wasn't from a video, I wasn't reaching out to like 50 people a day when my baby first got home. So I can tell you that these new distributors and new customers are brand new because of videos. Hey, I saw your video. I want to learn more about the business. Hey, I just saw your video. I'm interested in learning. What team are you talking about? Because sometimes I'm kind of vague. I don't always do videos and say anything about It Works. I might just be talking about an in-home business, or I might just be talking about my team, and people see it and say, well, what kind of team are you talking about? So it encourages people to ask more questions. But that allows me to free up time, because if I say, well, if I at least just do a video, or follow up with the people from the video that I did yesterday, I can stay active. And my power hours have definitely helped too. I think those are super important because they allow me to stay focused. Especially, like I said, it's hard for me to stay focused sometimes because I jump around a lot. So I make sure that I don't, my husband and I have a kind of a thing. It's like, we can't move on and do A if we haven't done a post, if we haven't gone through our task list for our power hour. And I break mine up into 30 minutes because I actually can't even focus for an hour. But 30 minutes is helpful for me. If you guys, honestly, if you sit down in front of your follow-up list and your computer and your messages, and you do the income producing activities that you need to do, you can get a lot done in 30 minutes, honestly. And so 30-minute blocks have allowed me to be more effective in growing my business around my baby. Now, I'm sure this is going to evolve. Like I said, he's only 4 weeks and I'm still trying to get, the hang of everything. But it's allowed me to still be effective when growing my business, because the reality is this is my full-time business. Like, I can't just, stop working my business and expect to get the same amount. Residual income's amazing, but we do want to continue to grow our business, especially going into the new year. And I think that how many of y'all can agree, if you've taken off a day, sometimes that day can turn into 5 days, and 5 days can turn into a week, and a week turns into 2 weeks, and you lose time. And what happens is you start tumbling down the hill, right? And it's hard to get that momentum or your business back on track once you start tumbling down the hill. So you got to be careful. And even if you're not doing the same level of activity, if you're going through something in your business during a season, where life might just be crazy, make sure that you're doing something. Make sure it's like the compound effect. Make sure you're doing something small, at least every single day, for your business, so it doesn't fall off the hill, the tracks, whatever you want to say, so you can stay active and keep that momentum going.
So Adrienne, you have been a top income earner for over 5 years in the business. Congratulations. But I know it wasn't always easy. I know, coming into the business, some of the people that you brought into the business may not even be with you anymore. Mm-hmm. We lose people, we get people, the ups and downs in the business. Have leaders who've been with me, that have built themselves up to, they come into the business, they promote all the way to diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, and things happen. The team slows down, they slow down, team falls apart, and now they're trying to rebuild, okay? Yeah. What advice can you give to those leaders who are struggling? They're trying to rebuild, and, most of their team, they're not working. They're trying to get their titles back. Right now, the holidays are here, things are a little slow. They're getting a little discouraged. Like, what advice can you give I mean, because I've been there. I lost Presidential Diamond second year in the business, and I had to kind of rebuild. Thank God, I stayed in the top. I didn't let that discourage me. Even though I was really upset about it because it was a close friend of mine, but I kept pushing through.
Yeah.
Like what tips can you give, to the leaders who are really trying to rebuild?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I always, Raina, I always say that we're always building. You're kind of never rebuilding. And I know sometimes people say that and people, will be like, whatever, what are you talking about? I know, you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I need to rebuild, Adrienne. And my thing is, I think sometimes we get off track because we get so emotionally invested in our team, right? Like we are working with our team every day. We care about them. We get emotionally attached, and then they leave and we're disappointed. And we hang on to that for months or years or weeks too long. And so what has allowed me, because in 5.5 years, I've had leaders lead double diamonds, triple diamonds, ups and downs. And people think, oh, you're always in the top because of Ronnie. No, ma'am. We need 5 legs, okay, to check and to maintain rank. So trust me and believe, like, even when those legs are running, you need everybody to be on one accord, and it's tough when that doesn't happen. But I always say focus on what's in front of you. What's in front of you, you have to focus on the things that you can affect, right? The things that you can affect are things that have probably impacted your business from the beginning, right? And from the beginning, most of you all can probably agree that was a results. That was getting results. That was putting a wrap on. That was getting some results with the wrap. That was losing 5 pounds, 10 pounds. That was a lot, letting your hair grow out. And so I just had this conversation with some other leaders the other day, and I was saying, you guys, you have to relaunch in your business the way that you launched your business before. If you feel like you slowed down, go out and lose 5 pounds next week, right? Start taking the hair, skin, nails and start your own 90-day challenge again. Act like you just started this business when you started the business. That is how you relaunch. There's really nothing else to do. You can put flowery names on something. You can have cute little groups, but at the end of the day, go out and get some results, because that is what is going to impact your business. Wow. That is always what impacts our business, is being a product of the product, putting some new pictures out there. How many of you all get tired of putting other people's pictures out there? Right? You tired of putting other people's pictures out there, you got to put your own pictures out there. And so that means you need some new results pictures. I'm tired. I was really excited to start my mommy snapback journey, because now I can get some new pictures. Right. What do? You just blowing your hair out, or you know what I mean? Like, right. I'm like excited. I can use the products and get some pictures. Mm-hmm. And trust me, it gets tough for us too, because Raina, I know you probably use all the products just like me. We've been doing it for the past 5 years. So how do you reinvent yourself and be excited about that every day? You have to, right? Like, you got to find the way. You use the products every single day. If somebody was in my bathroom, they'd be like, my goodness, did you buy out the warehouse? So I think that you always have to make sure that you're keeping that in mind. You're doing the same things that you did when you first started this business, and you're focused on attracting new people, right? Like if you're not executing and active in your business, regardless if it's during the slow season, sometimes we think we're in this season, right? And we're working and nobody is paying attention, right? Nobody is coming to our business. It's like, woe is me. And I truly believe that God won't honor the promise if we don't honor the process. And so sometimes when we're in this process, guys, we have to make sure that we're staying humble and consistent in sowing those seeds. It might not come all at once, but I guarantee you, if you're not consistent in your actions and executing the things that we need to do every single day as an entrepreneur and a business owner in this business, the people won't come. People are attracted to action. And so if you want to attract some new business partners that are hungry, that are ready, they got to see you being consistent. They got to see you using the products. They got to see you being active, even when everybody else is isn't. Even when everybody else is like, oh, it's slow, my business is falling apart, they have to see you in action. And let me tell you something. If you're feeling like my business is tumbling out of my hand a little bit and it's getting a little slow, go do a live, right? And challenge yourself to do a Facebook Live actually every day, at least 3-4 times a week. And tell me how your engagement has been, how people are excited or popping up in your timeline more after doing that. I promise you, it's going to help your business. If your business is slowing down, it's because nobody's seeing you, maybe. It's because you're not being consistent, maybe. It's because you haven't committed. Commit to doing something different, guys. Like in 2018, we got to start doing different things, because not only are there It Works brand ambassadors, but there's brand ambassadors for 50 million, 11 different companies. Everybody's a life coach. Everybody has something going on. What are you doing that's going to differentiate yourself from the next person that's selling some great plant-based supplements, or from the next person that's doing ABC? You have to think about it. That should be part of your 2018 plan, and also just do some reevaluation for the rest of this year. But I know for a fact that if you just start talking about the things that you're learning, be more transparent about the products you're using, the things that you're learning, your personal development, how that's changing you. Talk about those things. People will be attracted to you. You got to think about, who are these people that I'm attracted to listening to online, right? I'm sure many of you have people that you're on their Facebook Lives regularly, right? Or even weekly. What is it that attracts you? They're probably providing some impact or some information that is helping you, right? Nobody's going to get on a live where you just talking crazy. Nobody cares about that. Mm-hmm. So take the notes, the notes that you take during your webinars and your trainings. That's a gold mine. I always say, if you took notes and you learned something, you can turn those notes into a Facebook Live. Because sometimes people are like, what do I talk about? Teach people, impact them. And I promise you, they will come back to you. They will see you as a source of influence. They will see you as somebody that they can learn from. And if they feel like they can learn from you, they'll want to work with you. If they feel like that you're teaching them something, or you taught them something different, they'll want to buy products from you. If they feel like they can trust you because they're seeing your before and after pictures, they'll want to get some before and after pictures too, because, oh, she's using her own products. It's pretty simple. So I know sometimes it feels like when your business isn't moving, it's like, what do I do? But honestly, you want to do the same things that you were doing when your business was moving, right? So take a minute, step back, breathe, think about that, and then move forward.
Absolutely. Now, how important is it to stay connected? And I mean, staying connected to your leaders, with your team, of course, because without your team, you're not going to blossom or go anywhere. Trainings, that's available, any of the One Team, One Missions, conferences coming up. How important is, and I always talk about this, with the teams, and like, you got to get on these calls. We have some really amazing calls. We got the corporate calls on Sunday and Monday night where you're connecting with corporate leadership. Ronnie does Q&As on Mondays. We have our training, and we barely get a lot of people, on the calls. And then they're calling you later saying, hey, I have a question on how should I get a loyal customer? How should I approach a distributor? I think in order for you to grow, your business to grow, you got to stay connected. To motivate you, to inspire you, to keep you going. How important, because it always sounds better when it's coming from somebody. I could tell them over and over and over. Ronnie could tell them over and over and over. Some people still won't get it. And I know you hear that all the time.
Yep.
So how important is it for them to stay connected?
It's super important to stay connected to your leaders, to trainings, to webinars, to get that fire, to get that fuel. Sometimes you think, and I get it, guys. I'm going to be 100%. Don't be mad at me or anything. I get it, because my team probably gets tired of hearing me too, right? And you think, I'm not going to get on this call. They're going to be talking about the same thing that we hear every week. It doesn't matter, but it absolutely does matter. And let me tell you, it matters even more when you're in the season where you feel like, my business is falling apart. Nobody wants what I have. Nobody's joining my team. Everybody's quitting. It matters more because that fire, that fuel that you get sometimes that you don't even realize that you need, it's there. It's important to learn. It's important to, I could listen to Raina, Ronnie, so many leaders in the company every day and learn something new. You should be able to connect with somebody and learn something new every single day. It doesn't even matter how much you already know. I'm pretty sure I message my sideline sisters every day about something that I should probably know, but I don't. And vice versa. I learn something new every single day. And so it's important to stay connected because you can miss something. You can miss that. You can miss your blessing. You can miss that one nugget that's going to change your business. And not only that, you have to be an example for your team. If you're not getting on the calls, why should you expect that your business partners are going to get on the calls? And if they're not getting on the calls and they're not connected, guess what? Our business will no longer duplicate. This business, network marketing, our compensation plan is all about duplication, guys. And so if we're not doing it from the top, it don't happen. And if we're not duplicating, your business will fall apart. So stop expecting things that you're not doing. Stop expecting your team to do things that you're not doing, right? You're setting the example. You're being present. You're taking time to commit to your business, and you're showing your business partners the same thing. So it's so important to stay connected to your leaders. Not only that, but you want to make sure that you're on these webinars and your calls, but you're also seeking out resources for your own personal development to be a better business owner. Sometimes you may not get that. A lot of times you may not get that from It Works trainings, and that's fine. But if you want to grow as a leader, you have to seek out some other resources. Seeking out other resources, that means that you may need to stay connected to Raina or Cheryl or Jill or whoever on here. What are you reading? I saw you post a book the other day that I feel like I might need right now. Or I saw you post about a podcast that I may need to listen to right now. Yeah. Don't block your blessings, right? And make sure that you're connected so you can be present in all these things that are happening.
Absolutely. And look, and speaking of being an example and leading from the front, I think it's very important that as leaders have to actually lead from the front and, show the team that it's possible. We have to be, getting customers. We still have to get customers because, it's easy for people to say, oh, Raina, you're an ambassador diamond. You're a millionaire now, you don't have to do much. People are like, oh, you're just sitting back and we're doing all the work, which is not true. No. So I have to consistently, show my team, because every month I do a monthly report. Mm-hmm. And, I get to show, my top 10 PBV earners for the month, the previous month, 400 earners, and promotions. I have to make sure that I'm on that list. Because I can't keep telling my team every week, get your 4 loyal customers, get your 3 distributors, make sure you're getting a 400 PBV or higher, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that, and I'm not doing it myself. So every month, I'm in the top 10 of my entire team, I'm showing them, hey, I'm not just sitting here twiddling my thumbs and telling you guys or sending you messages saying do this, do that. I'm also doing it as well. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Leading from the front and being a great leader is very important.
Yeah. Well, we know you're a rock star, Raina. You're a rock star and you lead from the front always. No, and you absolutely, you have to lead from the front. Like I said, you can't expect your team to do things that you're not doing. And that is the way to also keep your business hot. Like if your leaders aren't moving, aren't enrolling, or if you as a leader aren't enrolling distributors or customers, how do you think the rest of your team feels? It's like, well, dang, they're not doing nothing either, or I can't see that they're doing anything, right? So it's really important to make sure that you're leading from the front, that you're doing that, and you're present. You're showing that. You don't have to, woe is me, post something every day about all your customers that you've gotten. But you do need to let them know, it's happening, and you need to show it, and you need to show them how. Because if your team isn't enrolling, if people are having a hard time, then there needs to also be kind of like a come to Jesus. Well, what is going on? How can I help? So be present in that, and definitely, we always got to lead from the front. Like I said, if you're not enrolling customers or distributors, you don't have a business.
Right.
I'm very upfront about that. Like I tell my team all the time, like if you haven't enrolled customers or distributors, you don't have a business. That's all we do. The only two things that we should be concerned about right now, and then personal development and all that other stuff, leadership development. But if there's no customers or distributors, what are we doing?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's almost too like, and I've seen it, my 5 years in the business, if you slow down and you're not active or present for your team is going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it so much in this business, it's like, okay, and the leaders are like, I don't know what's going on. My team isn't working. I'm like, but when have you enrolled a customer?
Right.
When the last time you've been on my monthly report?
Mm-hmm.
You're worrying about your team and what they're doing, what they're not producing. You're not doing anything at all.
Yep.
Your team and you're not doing anything. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that. I always say business activity creates activity. And it absolutely does. Like once you start, your activity, you're enrolling, you're busy, you're doing the income producing activities, things will happen, momentum starts. And that doesn't just mean in your own personal business, but your team as well. Your team sees it. They get excited. They're like, oh, snap. Maybe people forgot. Sometimes I think that people forget that there are people out here that are looking for a way out. There are people out here looking for an opportunity. That people forget that there are people looking for the products that we have. So you got to show your team something. You got to show them like, look, I'm enrolling. I don't know what's going on over there. And we in the same city. So don't try that. It's my city stuff,
Right.
or the internet is all over the world. I pull that on them all the time. Like, come on. The internet is global. Okay. Global.
Right.
But you got to show them and you got to do it. You have to do the activity. Show them how, lead from the front all the time. Yeah. And if you're in your little funk, get out of it real quick. Like we're getting ready to get into one of the craziest times of the year, in this new year. And I'm really excited about what the company is going to do, in 2018, what kind of products and direction and promotions and incentives we're going to have. But now is not the time to slow down. Now is the time to be sowing seeds, right? Because the things that happen in January, the things that pop off in February are going to be a result of the actions that you're taking now. They're going to be a result of the actions that you took in November, even October, right? You have to sow those seeds to get that harvest that's about to come. And you don't want to be on the back end of conference when stuff is announced and then you trying to get ready. You want to be ready now. When those promotions and incentives drops, you want to have people that have been waiting to come partner with you, or you want to have a team that just got started and pumped up in December and they're ready to like move this thing all through the year 2018. So now is absolutely not the time to slow down. And if you have slowed down, it's absolutely the time to rev that thing back up.
Amen. Absolutely. So self-development, which is very important. Do you have any books or audios that you recommend?
Yeah, I have. One of my last favorite books was You Are a Badass. I love that book. What's the name? Who's the author? Jen Sincero. It's called You Are a Badass. It's a great. It was like a great, like kind of like eye opener, kick your butt, like let's get it going. That was a great one. Money Mindset. I'm always into books that self-development, but also network marketing specific. Investment books, what to do, how to make your money work for you. I think if you're new to the industry and you haven't read any GoPro books, your first year in network marketing, first 4 years in network marketing, those are great books. As far as podcasts, I'm a Tony Robbins fan, but I also I follow my mentor, his name is Ray Higdon. I follow him. My personal development, a lot of it is focused on how can I become a better network marketing professional. And he is somebody that I followed. He's been in the industry for years. He's a 9-figure earner. He's amazing. So I follow him. He has podcasts and live videos, and I'm a part of a couple of his mastermind groups. I really just try to stay connected. I stay connected to people within It Works, but also outside of the industry. It helps level set me for a lot of other things that are going on, right? There's a lot of amazing people in our industry of network marketing that are doing some amazing things. And I believe that you can pull from a lot of different places to help you, in your journey. And that's part of developing as a leader. I think when you get to the point where you're like, I need some more, I need to develop a little bit more. I need to reach outside of these It Works YouTube videos. That's when you're ready, right? But so those are some of the things that I do, and I'm always looking for a new read. But
I have one. Have you heard of Grant Cardone's "Be Obsessed or Be Average"?
Yes, I have that. I read that. Yep, I have that. Great. I love Grant Cardone.
I have a guy who is a great mentor. He's a great friend. He's been in network marketing industry for over 20 years. You probably heard of the Selfs.
Darnell, yeah. Everybody heard of Darnell.
Right? So I'm like connected to him like this. Like he has so much to share. He's doing amazing. He's still making multi-millions, and he's so down to earth and humble, you would never know.
Yes. He's amazing. As a matter of fact, one of Darnell's business partners, I don't know if you've heard of Brian Carruthers. Brian was prepaid legal and knows Darnell well. And Brian's a friend of mine and always speaks so highly of Darnell. That's how I started following Darnell, because Brian started following Darnell a long time ago. Yeah. So,
Stay connected to those people that that are doing better than you, that you can learn from, that can motivate you, inspire you. That's my circle.
Yeah, you have to. I don't want to be the smartest or most well-paid person in my circle at all. Absolutely. And when about those guys, they're great prospectors. I love listening to Darnell and Brian prospect, do live calls. They work. When you talk about, sometimes people talk about mastery. There's no mastery if you have not done 10,000 hours of something. And these guys literally have done thousands of hours of what we're trying to even do in this business and grow. We're talking, they are like 8-figure, earners in this industry. So we have a lot to learn, but it always inspires me to watch people like them and learn from them. I have a few of Brian's books. I've had him on a couple calls with us. Building an Empire is one of my favorites. That's a really good one. It's network marketing specifics, not specific to their business at all. That's a great read. But yeah, you're in good company, Raina.
Yes. Look, and last thing about it, we always compare because they're from the old school. They're 20-some years of network marketing. We 5 years. So, they've done the Super Saturdays where they get together every Saturday. They've done things totally different. They didn't have social media like we do now.
Yep.
So we compare a lot. And like, well, do you all do this? I said, well, we do Zooms and, we don't do a lot of in-person, meetings and trainings. They were like, well, we still do, the in-person trainings and the opportunities and the Super Saturdays, and they still traveling a lot and they still have great turnout. So I'm just, learning, I love being around him. He's full of knowledge. So those are the type of people, you guys, you have to be connected to, people that you can learn from, like I said, that are, help you with your business. Not people who are negative, that's not going to, help you or, do anything to help you with your business. So last thing before I let you go, conference is coming and we are all so excited about it. We have something big planned for the team. We have a big party. So if you guys have not purchased your tickets for the big party and conference, get your tickets. It was posted a month ago, maybe a month ago.
Yep.
Conference tickets are still dirtball cheap, right? Not dirtball cheap, but I've never seen this long with a sale on conference tickets. So
Yep.
guys, make sure that you get your conference ticket. So Adrienne, are you excited about it? I know you are.
I'm super excited about conference. I've been waiting. You know, I was on bed rest for most of my pregnancy, so I didn't make green carpet. I haven't done any One Team One missions this year. You know, I'm just super excited to be able to get out and about and just start really grinding my business and meeting with all of the new business partners and emerging leaders that are, my alarm's on, that are a part of the organization now, and really just get that energy, because I need it. You know, I can watch podcasts and trainings all day, but I need that in person. And conference is really the time to do that. It's the time where we meet and just hang out and fellowship and learn with so many people, our sidelines, our uplines, our friends in the business. I'm excited. I'm bringing my little one. I hope he doesn't give us a run for our money. We're excited to get to Tampa and just see everybody. I'm super excited about our party this year. We have a new location, guys. We got some more room to breathe and move. And if you're staying at the Marriott and you get too tired, you can just go up to your room. Like, I'm really excited about this year's party. But yeah, conference is always game changing for my business, life changing. You know, I'm still running for my last promotion, but I can honestly tell you that even without a rank advancement, I have always advanced my checks.
Absolutely.
We all agree that at the end of the day, we want a check increase. Right. And so it is a time where, you know, you want to make sure that you have as many business partners as possible in those seats at conference. This is going to be a game changer for them. And this kind of really goes back to duplication in network marketing. We duplicate everything that we do, right? Like, so if your business, the more people you have in seats at conference, the bigger your business is going to grow, because somebody is going to have an aha moment. Somebody is going to have an epiphany at conference and be like, I was completely complicating this. Or they're going to have an experience with a sideline or somebody in the business that just changes their life. It might be an experience in a hotel lobby that changes their business. And so I just think it's so important to get there. This is our biggest event of the year. So if you weren't planning on going, I definitely recommend to get off that fence and make your plans and get there. And if you are planning on going, I challenge you to have, you know, minimally 5 people on your team going with you. Absolutely. 5. Minimally. Yeah.
And it's nothing like being there versus, I'll just watch someone's Facebook Live, you know, or I'll wait till they get back and do a conference call and share their tips on what happened. You know, it's nothing like being there, right there, while you're listening to stories, you know, all the inspiring stories from leaders, you know, people who've used the products, have great testimonies. You know, being there when Mark announces these big bonuses and these great new products, you know, so you just want to be around that, you know, because it's really going to push you to, you know, work your business even harder. You're going to go hard, you know, after you leave conference. I know, you know, every time I get anxiety or something, like every time we have conference or green carpet, like that last day, it's like, and it's almost you just want to just race out of there because you want to get to work, because what they're announcing is just so big, and it, you know, you're just like, oh my God, when they did the $9.99, I could have just passed out. Because I was like, oh my God, I gotta call everybody. The phone was just off the hook. It was just, oh my goodness. So I cannot wait for conference. So we only have a few more weeks left before 2018 comes around, and can you share some last minute tips or some tips or something to help my team, me and my team, get through these last few weeks? What should we be doing to prepare for 2018?
That's a good question. I just did a video yesterday talking about goal planning, strategy planning for 2018, right? Because if we're not doing that now, we are behind the 8 ball. And so it is super, super important to just literally get out what I did. I got out my notebook and I just started writing down. I have income goals, my monthly goals, weekly goals. I have rank advancement goals. I have my leadership goals. And then I have personal development goals. And then I have Sifontes household goals. I have about 12 pages of notes of things that I want to accomplish in 2018. And that includes even how I'm going to work my business, right? And so for me, I've committed to doing at least 5 videos a week in 2018. I'm not just going to start in 2018. I got to start doing that activity now. And so I'm challenging myself to do more in 2018 that I know is going to help my business. I'm even putting things on the books, right? So like conferences on the books. I want to go to a Tony Robbins event next year. So I've identified which event I want to go to. The city hasn't been announced yet, but I'm literally scheduling travel and everything because I believe that if you put your plan to paper, guys, you are going to be, your productivity is going to double minimally, right? And so we have to plan these things out. Even I was talking yesterday about planning through these seasons that change, right? So like holiday seasons between Thanksgiving and New Year's, it tends to be different. I won't say slow down, but it can slow down if we slow down, right? And so holiday, we have to account for these times, holidays, tax time, Easter, summer. Y'all know, especially if you've been in the business for a year or more, that these seasons come every year. Why don't we plan for them? Why don't we plan for them? Why don't we why don't we adjust our marketing strategy around them? Even if you're going on vacation, guys, you should be thinking, okay, I'm going on this cruise in June. I'm about to put out a challenge and I'm going to call it my Get Fit for the Ecstasy 2017 cruise, whatever it is, whatever hashtag, and you go and you lose your 10 pounds on your products for your cruise leading up to that. You're wearing your gear on your vacation. Like, we have to plan things around our life, but let's not act like when summer comes, we're like, oh, checks dropped, people aren't working. Right. Guess what? This stuff happened every year. So we need to be able to plan around it and keep moving and growing our businesses and showing people, listen, the season isn't slow. We just got slow. We stopped because everybody else stopped. So 2018 goal planning is super important right now. You want to get into the mode like it's already 2018. Like, basically it is, because when we blink, it's going to be here like tomorrow. That's how close it is. So 2018 planning. And you want to start having those conversations. If you aren't already building relationships on Facebook and Instagram, you want to start having those conversations with people. Check in with people. Now is a good time to be checking in. Hey, how you doing? Happy holidays. You're going to be in town. What's going on? Yeah. Check in with people. So when you're reaching out to them in January and February with your sales, it's not just like, oh, I haven't heard from her in 8 months, Check in with people now. Say hello. Drop a short message on Messenger. Start building those relationships and start going back through your 100s list. The people that were interested in the business maybe over the summer or, in the fall, and it just got a little slow, maybe on your end too. You want to pick those conversations back up, because if they were interested before, I guarantee what happens January 1st, people figure out, I want to change. I need to make some more money. I want to start this business. I'm going to quit playing. I'm joining Charmaine this year. I'm doing it. It's January 2nd. I'm joining Marlena. Like, it's happening. So we have to get our list out and we have to be prepared. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going back through my list. I'm loading up, I'm loading up my chamber, and I'm just building those relationships with people, because in January you want to be able to have a list to go to, like, okay, we talked, December and February, and they're ready to go. So keep building those relationships, even though, you might not book or enroll a loyal customer tomorrow, but if you start creating that relationship with somebody, or at least, starting conversations, you're sowing seeds, guys. And I think that's what people forget. That's part of the process. Sow the seeds is part of the process. So build those relationships, start using some products. It's the holiday season. It's a perfect time for us to talk more about how we are going to maintain our weight and our fitness throughout this season with our fat fighters and our greens. Show people how the products are working. And not with features, but with benefits. How's it going to make you feel? I'm going to feel so good in that dress at my holiday party or at the New Year's Eve party. You know, I'm about to be real fine in this dress, and these greens are going to help me through Christmas and all these cookies and sweet potato pie. Like, tell the story, guys. Make it real. Let people know what you're doing and make it exciting. But keep going. Stay consistent and committed. Keep talking to people, keep friending people. Now is the time to start building up your list, keep friending people and adding people on IG. And that's it. I mean, stay consistent in the things that we know work for our business. And make sure you have your plan before we get in 2018. Don't wait till January 1st and start trying to make a plan, y'all.
Right. Thank you. This is so great. I appreciate you, Adrienne. You are so wonderful and so amazing. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you for conference. You bringing the baby?
Yes, girl.
I really appreciate you taking time to speak with my team tonight. I know they are loving every minute of it. I did record it. I told them, I'm not recording it. If you're not on, I'm not recording it. But I want to listen to it again myself. So I did record it. But I truly appreciate you. We love you. And thanks again. So you all show Adrienne some love. She's friends with her on Facebook. Let her know that we appreciate her for taking time out on the call tonight. So thanks again, Adrienne.
Thanks for having me.
Kiss the baby for us.
Love you. I sure will.
Love you too. Bye. Thanks again. Thanks everyone for joining.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.